Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in again. You can tell here sitting on the desk I have a brand new product to tell you all about and show you all about here on the channel. It's called Flic and there's a number of components here to go through. So let me show you all the different components, get it set up in my home and tell you what it's all about. Now guys, full disclosure, this is a sponsored video here by Flic. I've worked it out with them. I think this is an interesting device, and what I wanted to do was show you some of the capabilities that something this simple and compact can give you in your home, because I think it's always difficult to set up basically those small little tasks and you don't want to have to remember everything, and I think a little button like this is going to help us in a number of ways. So let's get right into it. Each Flic button comes as two distinct pieces. The piece on the left here is just simply the clip, and then the piece on the right, I'm actually showing you the bottom side of the Flic button. That is the sticky side. So that sticky side can either stick to the clip or it can stick to any surface really. And as you get multiple of these lined up, you can stick multiple to a surface or you can clip multiple to another surface. So let me show you how that works. Now, I just removed a little piece of film basically here, and this actually creates a sticker. So what we do from there, and if you want, you can go ahead and mix and match, but essentially you're going to stick that to your Flic clip. So in the end, this is all it's looking like. It's a very simple process. And now you can hear that I'm clicking that button there. So, and the other thing is, once you've clicked it, look at that, there you got a light. So this button is now working. There's nothing more I need to do with this button other than set it up in the application. So this is as simple as Flic is when you're first getting started. This whole side of it is another part of the discussion. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get these three connected up here and we're gonna start up the application. All right, so I have my first three buttons here pulled out and basically I'm ready to get going. Now, the application you're going to need is called Flic, and there's a number of Flics out there on the market. So what you actually need to find is this kind of an icon right here. You're going to see it's basically a purple theme that they have for Flic. Now, as soon as I get into the application, I had to allow notifications, and I'm going to agree to the terms of services, and I'm going to go ahead and create an account. So I've gone ahead and I've created my account. That process was extremely simple. You can use Facebook if you'd like to sign in as well. From there, there's two sections of the application, the hub and the phone. Now, that's this hub right here, but again, I'm gonna build up to that. Let's just go to the phone section and add the Flic to the phone. So we have these three buttons and I'm going to add Flic to phone. Now, as I go ahead, what they want basically is push it, and it's found instantaneously. So it would like to pair it basically to my phone. There we go, that's it. This button is paired, and I can't say that I've had a setup process that fast. That's excellent. So now I have one there. I'm going to continue to add here. All right, so I have two buttons. I think that's enough for what we're doing here today. I don't want to get too complex, but I have two buttons that are paired to my phone, and as I tap them, I hear little sounds actually coming from the application at this point. Now, I can go into each button and I have a click, a double click, and a hold. So for each of these buttons, and I can rename them, I have the ability to do three different commands with them. Now, what I want to do is for a simple click, I want to go in and I tap on that plus, and now I can go and I can look through all the different services that we can natively connect to. Now, right away, some of the big reasons that I wanted to reach out to Flic on this, the if this then that service is obviously a massive service with tons of connections to other things, but we can already see IKEA Trad-Free, the LifeX, the Philips Hue, and Sonos, and that was one of the big things for me. Moving down, there's a bunch of different categories here, and going into the smart home section, for example, Harmony Hub, and that's really important with this, which is the IR Blast Blaster and the hub that allows you to control some of those IR Blaster devices as well, just like a Harmony hub. So you can actually shortcut your Harmony hub if you'd like, or you can use it to connect directly and cause a specific action to go on with the Harmony hub. That doesn't require this, just the button would do that. There's also obviously all these other Wemo, Wink, all those devices that you can connect to media. So this is something that I think a lot of people will love. Apple Music, all of those kinds of capabilities in the Chromecast, all of those are things that I think sometimes are too complicated to get started or take too many taps or clicks or whatever. If you have your phone around, it's close enough to these little devices, because this is a Bluetooth connection. If it's close enough, then it's a simple tap to go ahead and start something. All right, now within the phone control, and this is kind of an interesting category and something that I think a lot of people will use with these. If you sat one of these in your kitchen and you were just using that to find your phone, for example, or to trigger certain things on your phone, you can see the Find My Phone capability is right here. So I'm going to tap on that. You can set a volume, and then you can also choose the sound. So I can go ahead and pick that, and then I simply tap add up in the top right of the screen. So now as my phone, and I'm going to turn it off here, I'm just sitting here. That's it. So there you go. You can see it's playing that sound. It's going to play for a few seconds here, but ultimately I have that playing. I can find my phone anytime, as long as this is sitting somewhere in my home that I know where this is. And with Bluetooth connectivity, what's going on here, as long as you leave your Bluetooth on your phone, you can go ahead and find it. So let's go ahead and set up a double click and a hold now. So for a double click, this is where you're going to tap the button a couple of times. I'm going to go back down to phone control, and what I can do is I can turn it to a lock screen, and I kind of like this if you're someone who leaves your phone always just sitting open and you just want to close it, you're in the kitchen or something, you can go ahead and close it. So I'm going to tap on that, hit add, and this is how quickly you can go ahead and configure these buttons. So I'm just letting it to go ahead and configure, and now when I double tap, it's locked my phone. And I don't know whether you guys heard that little sound, but it did make a little sound here and locked my phone. So I think we've done enough here with the phone. I'm going to go into the hold button now. And so this is when I hold my Flic button here, and I'm going to show you just that the Philips Hue integration works. So I'm going to tap on Philips Hue, and now you've got to tap on setup rather, and go ahead, search for bridges, and it's going to connect or find your bridge. You have to be relatively close to that bridge, but now what they want me to do is go press the Hue bridge button. So I'm going to go do that and come back. All right, so as soon as I tap that bridge button there on the Philips Hue, it's just on the top for those of you who don't know, but as soon as I tap that, it made a connection directly to Philips Hue. Now that I've done that, I can back out of that settings screen, and I can go ahead and I can set all my lights, all my scenes if I'd like, and I can pick which ones I want to turn on and off. So I can just make it a toggle, which I'm going to do here for the purposes of this demo. I have a office light up at the top here, and I'm going to leave it as a toggle, but you can see I could choose multiple lights if I'd like. I can go ahead and add other lights here if I'd like. And the scenes allow you to do that color control if you'd like to do that as well. So once I've gone ahead and chosen all of my options here, basically my color, whether I want it to toggle or on or off or whatever, again, I go ahead and hit on. Now, or add rather. Now, as I go, I can simply hold this button, and you'll notice in this office, the lighting changed just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hold it again, and there it comes back on. So this can be a light control as well. So again, I'm really enthralled with the simplicity of these little flick buttons, and I think that gives you a pretty good idea. Now I'm going to give you one more demo here for what I think really works, one of the best things here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the IR blaster and the bridge. Alright, now you can see my Sonos speaker here sitting right next to me, and what I've gone ahead and done, and you don't need to see that whole process again, but I've connected it to Sonos. It was the same process as the Philips Hue. And what I've done is for the click, I've put in a toggle, and for a double click, I've put in an increase in volume and a decrease in volume for a hold button. Now, this is all with one button. Obviously, if you had multiple, you could set it up as just a single click if you'd like across multiple of these devices. So now I can't play this music for you for a long time, but there's a play. And so I was able to basically trigger the on and off. What I'll tell you about Sonos is that in general, you do have to start playing from the application. Sonos kind of goes into a sleep mode. There's nothing you can do about this. You know, 2 hours from now, the play button on the top of this won't start your last music. So that's just a function of Sonos. But once you have it going, you can use this to toggle, and you can use it to turn the volume up or down. You can play and pause. There's a number of functions that you can get with just this and your Sonos speaker. All right, now moving on to the hub portion of this discussion. Now, this is the little Flic Hub. There's not a lot to this device. It is very small, very compact. What you have here is a IR blaster. Right next to it, there's an audio jack, so a 3.5 millimeter. I'm assuming you can go straight out to a speaker with that and cause integration there. There's also an Ethernet port, and there's the power port, which is basically a mini USB connection. They give you the cable for that. It is quite short, so you know, for me, for this demo, I had to get a bit of a longer one, but ultimately you have everything you need other than the Ethernet cable to get started with this. Now, back in the application here, I'm going to go ahead and get connected with the hub. So it is as simple as between the phone and the hub, just hitting add hub. And the great thing about this is it's going to remove the need for your phone to be close by to these buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the hub. You can see the connection process going on. What I've been impressed with so far is that this connection process is very, very simple for all of these things. All right, now that I'm connected, now I have to add Flic to Hub. So what I've gone ahead and done is disconnected this from my phone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tap that, and now it's asking me to press and hold it. And this is all the setup process that you have to do here. So now it's found the Flic, I can go ahead, set it down, and now these two are paired, whereas this one is still paired to my phone. So just keep in mind, per button, you're only going to be able to pair either to the hub or to your phone directly, and this kind of makes sense in general with a Bluetooth connection. So again, I have that button, I can go ahead and I can configure it again. Obviously, I've already shown you all those things that you can do. This IR blaster gives you that extra opportunity to make it more like a Harmony Hub device. You can go ahead and turn on certain TVs. You can turn on certain IR devices. It can learn those signals. So there's a ton of capability here. And these are all just components that you can buy separately. So you can start with these buttons and you can finish with a Hub edition if you'd like. So overall, what I found here from Flic, this is a fantastic product, very simple in terms of just the buttons and the capability of utilizing those buttons. Obviously, you need the phone around in order to utilize those buttons, or you need some kind of Bluetooth device. So keep in mind, you could use a tablet that you have in your home all the time instead of a phone if you'd like. The other capability then, or if you want it, you go to the hub here, and that gives you the ability to not worry about phones and pair all those different services here to your Flic buttons. And of course, you've got all those different options, the 3 different options to go ahead. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this device. I like the setup process and I like the simplicity of it. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this has helped you out, giving you some other ideas for home automation. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.